ERP is very excited to announce that we've released 6 elephants into the Samara Private Game Reserve. We relocated the elephants from Kwandwe in partnership with Samara Game Reserve. The translocation is a benchmark event in ERP's history, as we are restocking an environment for the first time in 120 years that hasn't had elephants.
It's very important when you are moving or relocating a family group of elephants and re-establishing them to a new area that you catch cohesive groups. So by definition, from the matriarch right down to the smallest animal. Typically they would number between 5 and 15 animals. A helicopter is a vital key component. We need to find the elephants from the air with the helicopter. We use the helicopter to keep them together and to drive them to a suitable area where we can actually catch them and work with the animals.
As human beings, we have an emotional attachment to elephants. It's never nice to see them being loaded and things. I mean, it's obviously exciting and one gets caught up in the capture. But you know, when the animals get loaded and the door closes, there's always that sort of sad feeling. But I think, you know, you're always doing things most importantly for the whole of your ecology, you know, starting most importantly with your soil and your vegetation. So it's a bittersweet moment, let me put it that way.
For us, it's the culmination of 20 years of work of restoring landscapes in the Great Karoo, putting together a block of land and getting rid of the goats, the sheep, the cattle that were there, and restoring the animals that should be in the landscape and are finally coming back to that region.
The reason that I'm so interested in Group Elephant, the involvement that we have here, is really we're doing a business day with IT. But we're taking all of that through to solving issues in Africa, and not just in Africa. This will go to something else as well. The start really was with elephants and rhino and the upliftment of impoverished people around those areas. And of course, the mix between the growth of people versus animals. I believe animals will come second, so if we don't do enough now, we will lose a lot of elephants and rhino in the future.
We essentially lift the elephants upside down by their feet. It doesn't look good, but it certainly is considered to be best practice now. No long-term side effects, and they are loaded into tailor-made, purpose-built wake-up recovery crates. What's important to us is that the elephants are only immobilized for a very short space of time. So time is of the essence for us. So the quicker we can lift an animal, put it into a recovery box and wake it up, the less risk for the animals themselves, and certainly less risk for us too.
Now, ERP really contributed 50% to the relocation. ERP also makes sure that we have an elephant monitor for a year and everything that she needs as part of her equipment, like, you know, vehicle and so on. And then of course with the collaring and the app that goes with all of that, that will take us, you know, for 2 years. That's the investment that we're going to make, but we're hoping to get much more out of it at the end of the day. All the information that we could gather, how the animals have adapted to their new area, can we move more elephants over there, and really that is the role that we play. We hate to talk about cost and so on, but at the end of the day, it is a costly affair, and really we want to make sure that people see the outside of it and not just the monetary value that we've put in there.
On the whole, I think that it's wonderful for tourism. It's fantastic for our region because elephant used to be there. It is also a step in recreating the ancient elephant migratory routes from Addo up to the Great Karoo region.
We both see this as like a lifelong project, you know, something that's going to keep us very busy for the rest of our lives, and hopefully my kids as well. So it's a legacy project, and it's also about co-creation. It's about working with other people, with, you know, with ERP, with other NGOs, with governments, with local communities, to create something that really represents our collective heritage.
One of the reasons that Samara is there is it is the catalyst for change in the region, and we see ourselves as the keystone and stepping stone to creating a much broader vision and picture across the conservation landscape.
If the owners are willing to open up more space for us, I think we will achieve more than just, you know, a couple of elephants, the 6 elephants that we've moved. You know, there's this opportunity of creating maybe a corridor. How can ERP be part and parcel of creating and opening up a corridor of animals to walk freely and roam freely between all of those parks? If we can achieve something like that, that's something to aim for, and we'd really like to be part of that.
We're looking forward to a long-term partnership with Samara in terms of the expansion. They've got a much longer-term plan for expansion into a mega reserve, linking a whole number of different parks, including Kamdaburi National Park, Mountain Zebra National Park. So we're very excited for the long-term plans for the reserve, and we're hoping that we can establish a formal partnership with Samara Game Reserve in time to come.
And I just think it was just one of the most emotional days that we've experienced as a family, and it was just really special to have several of us here, and particularly the last little female that came out of the crate. She was the one that I'd been most worried about, because there was an issue slightly earlier on with her breathing when she first was tranquilized, and so I worried about her on her journey up. And then when I finally saw her come out, she was the last to come out, and she came out looking a little bit dazed, and then she sort of put her trunk down and sprayed some sand over herself, and it was just like, oh, I'm fine here.
I'm home.
I'm home here, which was really just so special.
I would like to come and bring my clients over here. I want to make sure that they can see and feel and understand what it is that we're doing as well on the ERP side of EPUs. We're not just doing a business, we're doing, an act of love here.